Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health Radio and TV. I'm your host, Sara. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mom of 3 teenagers. I believe that your body does want to and is capable of rebuilding and healing itself regardless of what chronic disease you may have. And I'm here for you to answer your questions and bring you innovative and cutting-edge technology and health solutions to empower you and your ability to reach your optimal state of health. Today, my guest will be talking about optimizing health and longevity through supplementation. And I know that you really need that strong physical foundation to work on your mental growth. Whether it is overcoming anxiety and depression, losing weight, or detoxing your body in the proper way, and even increasing your level of frequency in life, you need that strong physical foundation of health in order to gain the willpower to make the bigger changes in life. If you're new to following me, I specialize in helping you get there. You can find my health articles, my cutting-edge natural supplements, devices, protocols at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. I dive into an array of health conditions, their causes and symptoms, and how to address them naturally. And I have spent thousands of dollars and hours of my time biohacking different supplements, technologies, and diets that don't work so you don't have to. If you have any health issues you need my help with, you can email me directly through the website. I personally read every one. Accelerated Health Products is the sponsor of the show. So as you support my website, I'm able to bring you more cutting-edge content and guests to this show. Today, as I mentioned, we are going to be diving in on how to increase longevity, boost the immune system, and turn back the clock, and the benefits of living in a higher state of vibration or frequency as a result. So first, I wanted to talk about some frequency-enhanced supplements that can aid in the process of healing quicker and more efficiently. Number 1, the accelerated keto. This is the only keto supplement that not only kicks you into ketosis or fat burning mode within 30 minutes and gets rid of those cravings for sugar and carbs, but has also additional fat burning ingredients that help defat and cleanse your liver, unlike any other keto supplement. And many of you may be suffering from fatty liver, whether it's from alcohol or not. Keto on its own helps, but this gets you the results much quicker. Also, you will feel the mental clarity that you haven't felt before, and the brain fog lifts. Your energy produced at the cellular level is 10 times more than when you're eating a high-carb diet. And personally, I can go all day fasting with amazing mental focus that allows my body to heal, reduces the pain and inflammation, and I just feel good. Also, for those of you who can't eat a high-fat diet, this is a way to kick you into a ketosis and use intermittent fasting to maintain that state of fat burning. As you feel better physically, you're able to mentally increase your frequency or vibration and become a better version of yourself. Secondly, Accelerate Iodine. Iodine is the wild card in supporting the immune system. It is getting a lot of press right now as everyone is looking for natural antiviral agents, and there are new studies with iodine and the current virus. It is not only antiviral, but it is anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, antiseptic, antioxidant, anti-allergenic, and antihistamine. And it also produces that function called healthy apoptosis. That is the natural death of traumatized and unhealthy cells. And there is no pathogen resistant to iodine. Iodine was used to protect people from the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic that killed over 30 million people, and it's now being used as a natural antiviral. All of these immune boosting benefits are in addition to iodine's key role for the metabolism and the thyroid and for the immune system. So not only that, but iodine is also known as the most spiritual supplement, as it relieves depression and brain fog and helps you connect to your higher self. And I talk about increasing your frequency, meaning living at a higher level of awareness and spirituality. The scalar frequency embedded in the acceleridine detoxes your pineal gland, which connects you to your higher self, clears that brain fog, and awakens you. And what you can use with the acceleridine is a supplement called Nuke No More. This is the best radiation poisoning treatment I have come across. And as we are being bombarded by more and more EMFs with our computers, our Zoom calls, cell phones, 5G, and smart meters, radiation is disrupting our health more and more. Nuke No More is a scalar charged Ormus formula that detoxes ionizing and non-ionizing radiation from all smog, x-rays, commercial flying, as well as the smart meters and smartphones and other electropollution. And you are able to detox from heavy metals from the brain as well. Just with 1 or 2 bottles, you can zero out all the radiation in your body, and it stays zero out for at least a year. Next, the accelerated scalar silver. Not only is this silver an alkaline formula, unlike most all other silvers, it creates that environment that foreign pathogens may not be able to survive in. It is also programmed with bioinformational scalar technology to help further strengthen the immune system and devitalize all of those foreign pathogens, including viruses. And like the acceleridine, the scalar frequency embedded in the silver lifts you to that higher state of being or a higher frequency. The studies are in by the NIH on how silver can fight COVID naturally. Furthermore, we use microclustered water technology to lower the surface tension for better absorption. No other company does this. And just like the silver, the gold is made the same way. And gold has been known for thousands of years to help with anxiety, depression, sleep, and increasing IQ. So it takes that one step beyond any other gold supplement and has those scalar frequencies embedded into the formula to help the healing powers. Lastly, the accelerated cellular detox powder. This is a blend of 6 organic detoxification ingredients to help soak up the toxins, including heavy metals, alcohol, food poisoning, and radiation, while also killing parasites and fungus. It cleans out the whole digestive tract, helps with regularity, heals colitis and ulcers, and reduces intestinal inflammation. And you can use it daily. It is also programmed with those scalar frequencies to detox you further from the heavy metals and the insecticides. Now to the good stuff. Chris Burse is the owner of SES Research, the first company to deliver carbon nanomaterials, and MyVitalC is the world's first nano antioxidant. When Chris realized the Nobel Prize-winning chemical tested by NASA has been proven to almost double your lifespan, he decided to make ESS60 into a household item. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Sarah. You look amazing, by the way. First off, we're just going to start with that. And I'm so happy to be back. It's been a minute since we've connected, and it's great to be back. And I think you've added new products to your website. I think you even made some changes that I hadn't seen in a while. Like everything looks like it's going good.
It's going great, and I have to tell you, MyVitalC is right there in there. It's in my immune bundle, which I included the acceleridine, the silver, and the MyVitalC. It is rock solid, especially right now with what's going on. Yeah. I always say that those 3 items on their own will have an amazing effect, but when you put them together, COVID has no chance. I know for a fact, Chris, because I've been tested, that I've been exposed at least 2 to 3 times.
Right.
Not one symptom.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, and I was, while you were kind of getting us kicked off, I was looking through, and in your products, you've got, immune support. And I'm like, yeah, MyVitalC. also helps that with your other products. Gut health, our product is, a significant portion of it is olive oil. So that's great for your gut. Energy and performance, our most consistent testimonial, as you know, take it in the morning, mental focus and energy during the day, and better sleep that night. And then detox, we have some testimonials. I'm not confident enough to lump us into detox. Maybe you are. You might have some testimonials that relate to that in our product. And then keto, it's basically, the raw ingredients, olive oil. So it checks so many boxes, and I'm so mission, to get ESS60 out there. And I can't be more thankful to you to help me, for you helping me do that.
Well, I don't have one customer that has bought MyVitalC and not come back. So, and that says a lot, because it's a 30 to 45 day supply, and it's one of the more expensive supplements, right? But it people are finding it worth it. And I intermittent fast, but I take MyVitalC midday because I want that energy, and it doesn't kick me out of ketosis. It actually kicks up my ketones. And what's amazing too is it's the only supplement I know of that helps with sleep, but that you don't take right before bedtime.
Yeah. Well, you can compare it. Some things, not supplements, like we can talk about the $2 billion sleep aid industry. But, a lot of people, when they're thinking about sleep aids and, more natural sleep aids, they're thinking of melatonin. And melatonin can be really good. It's a naturally existing molecule. And the challenge with melatonin is everybody's different. You got to take it exactly right. A lot of people don't realize that melatonin isn't just like a sleep hormone. It's actually something that tells your body, it's like the starting gun to start sleeping. So if you take too much, you can imagine if your body is continually going, hey, it's time to start sleeping. It's midnight. It's time to start sleeping. It's 1 a.m. It's time to start sleeping. That can be detrimental to your sleep. And a lot of people, if they take too much, they'll wake up groggy, because again, that gun just went off and said, hey, it's time to go to sleep. The other supplement that I do like is valerian. I don't know if you're familiar with valerian. Mm-mm. It's valerian root. It's really simple. What it does is quiet your mind. And they actually sell it in a sleepy time tea. If you're at your grocery store, there's a little cute bear with a little sleepy cap on, and they've got versions of sleepy time tea with and without valerian. Valerian I've used in the past, and it's been really good. And really, since I've been taking MyVitalC on a regular basis, I just haven't had to use anything else. And you make a good point. Again, going back to that $2 billion sleep aid industry, there's a book called Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. Amazing book. It's the scariest book. I call it the Freddy Krueger of sleep books, because it will scare the sleep into you, if that makes sense. Like you'll read this book, and there's so much data about how detrimental a lack of sleep is. I think we can both agree, like we're very proud of our supplements, but if you had to choose good night's sleep over our supplements, get that good night's sleep. Like do whatever you need to do. Okay. Some of them happen to help you sleep, so that's great. But that sleep is the most restorative and healing process our bodies ever go through. Yes. But it's not the sleep you get when you take these prescription quote unquote sleep aids. Those, and this I learned this in the book Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. Those you take right before you go to sleep. They knock you out. And you wake up, and there's a chemical in our body called adenosine. And adenosine is the A in ATP. So we're kind of familiar with in the mitochondria, we have ATP processes. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell in our body. Again, it goes through these ATP processes. The A is adenosine. So as that mitochondria is creating energy for our cells, it's releasing adenosine into the body. That adenosine causes us to desire sleep. So this $2 billion sleep aid industry that knocks you unconscious, you wake up and it's relieved the chemical pressure of adenosine. So it feels kind of refreshing to wake up and not desire sleep, right? That makes sense. The problem is that it doesn't let you get your REM or your in-REM sleep. And those are the healing and restorative sleeps that you need every night. And again, counter to our product, I know you take it in the afternoon for that little boost. And I can tell you, before I got it as part of my regular routine, if I was in the middle of the day and I was like starting to maybe yawn a little bit and think that I needed a cup of coffee, I could always look back and remember I hadn't taken MyVitalC that morning. Now that it's part of my coffee routine, I don't miss that, and that doesn't happen. So our product, most of our customers take it in the morning. They report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. So that sleep is just so important.
Just to touch on you mentioned detox, and if I could speak to that, let's talk about antioxidants, because when you have oxidative stress, that is aging and that is causing toxins to build up in your body. So if you are relieving the oxidative stress, that is a natural way for your body to be able to do its natural detoxification as it's reducing inflammation. So I wanted to talk about, really focus on what is an antioxidant, what is oxidative stress, and how does MyVitalC work into that?
Absolutely. So really, we can go back to that mitochondria in each cell. So every one of our cells has a mitochondrial component, and that component is the powerhouse, the energy source for that cell. And it goes through a process called the ATP process, where that process of generating energy for the cell naturally creates ROSs, reactive oxygen species. And those are the species that run around. And you can think of them like, we know that having water and oxygen around steel is not a good thing because that causes rust. So the same thing, this free radical, this oxygen species running around our body tends to, the best example is like tends to rust our body. So antioxidants like vitamin C, everybody knows about vitamin C and knows that it's very healthful, run around and they gather these oxygen species and get them out of our bodies. And kind of the reason you're bringing it up is MyVitalC. There's at least one study out there that shows that MyVitalC, really the ESS60 molecule that's in MyVitalC, is 172 times more potent than vitamin C. And so, yeah, we've got this molecule running around your body that has this ability. And for those of you who are watching, I'm actually holding a model of the ESS60 molecule. If you're listening, just imagine a soccer ball, and the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. So you have the spherical molecule of 60 carbon atoms. This very unique shape, like one of the only molecules that has this shape in nature, gives it a lot of resilience. So you're able to actually, in the early days, we understood that it might be useful in batteries because it could hold electrons on the outside of it and then release the electrons and not suffer any degradation to the molecule, right? Well, those electrons have a parallel of this reactive oxygen species, and so they can hold, they're basically like a free radical sponge. And if you were in a room full of doctors who are mitochondrial experts, and you ask them, hey, would it be beneficial while the mitochondria is going through this ATP process to have a free radical sponge, to have this oxygen sponge in the mitochondria? All of them would raise their hand and say yes, because that's like, it's kind of like if you could add something to the back of your car that absorbed all of the pollution that was coming out of your car, that would be a good thing for the environment. Well, same thing in our bodies. You've got this engine running, it's creating these oxygen species. If you've got this sponge there to collect it, then yeah, absolutely. So we do know that the ESS60 molecule it's very small, can get into the mitochondria and participate in those ATP processes. So that's one of the ideas behind how the original result that even got us talking about ESS60, how it worked and why that result happened.
One question I get a lot is this a vitamin C? And I always say, no, it's not. It's 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. But would you say it actually replaces someone's vitamin C supplement?
So that's an interesting question, and I'm before I'm going to remind people of in your introduction any adjustments you're making to your nutrition and your diet. You would want to check with your doctor. I think vitamin C does some very specific things in our body that aren't necessarily related to just being an antioxidant, right? So we know that scurvy, which we don't deal with anymore, the sailors had to deal with it, is caused by a lack of vitamin C. I'm not sure. There's no research that shows the presence of ESS60 kind of repairs scurvy. So I don't know. And by the way, a typical diet doesn't need vitamin C supplementation to manage scurvy. I don't know. Like at this point, I actually, the only supplement I do take I actually take 3. I take MyVitalC. And I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. David Sinclair and his book Lifespan. Yeah. So some of the things that he mentions there are NMN and Metformin and resveratrol. So right now I'm not taking resveratrol. By the way, these are all for like longevity. And if you read his book called Lifespan, it's an amazing book. If you're looking to extend your life, I know that a lot of your clients are actually dealing with things today. This is more my supplement. I don't really have anything to deal with today. I'm really looking like long term. So we've got MyVitalC, NMN, which is I struggle with this nicotinamide. It's nicotinamide nucleotide, something close to that. I think that's right. NMN. And then metformin. Metformin is actually actually a drug, right? So you'd have to get a prescription, and it's for diabetes. And there's just some indications in Dr. Sinclair's work that it can tweak the right things in our body that indicate you would live longer, right? So that's why I supplement with that. But I don't take a vitamin C supplement. I don't. I take MyVitalC.
Well, most people don't take a vitamin C, and you don't see much scurvy out there. So
yeah, exactly.
the scurvy issue might have been something else in addition to the vitamin C that was going on during that.
That's very true.
But we can't make any claims here. Before we lose track of the sleep, we were touching on it, but I know you just finished or are working on a sleep study. So let's dive into the results that you've gotten.
Absolutely. Let's kind of talk a little bit about sleep study and maybe give a little bit of the background of the molecule for those who don't know, right? Because the story is kind of fascinating. So again, for those who are watching, I'm holding up my index finger, and I have on my index finger a ring, and it's an Oura ring. It's OURA. It's one of the better sleep trackers on the market. And because our customers were continually saying, I'm sleeping better, I'm sleeping better, I'm sleeping better, I decided that we needed to invest in some sleep studies and understand, from a scientific perspective. Great. It's one thing for people to say, this is how the scientific process works. It starts with anecdotal information. It always starts with anecdotal information. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, it's just anecdotes, so it doesn't count. Wrong. It's anecdotes, so it should start a scientific path, right? So the anecdotes are, I'm sleeping better. And then we're actually involved. I'm in contact and working with a professor out of the University of California, San Diego. He's a consultant for Oura Ring. So if Oura Ring customers work with us on the sleep study, Benjamin can access the data behind the scenes, right? So this is a really great opportunity to dig into, are these customers, can we see signs of their better sleep? So we actually started it in late 2019. And of course, 2020 hit, we had lockdown, and it turns out that this ring is actually pretty good at predicting COVID. Right. So before you even show symptoms, this is keeping track of your temperature. It can see the temperature spike and can say, hey, you're sick with something, and it's actually identifying COVID. So you can imagine in 2020 and even till now, he's spending a lot of his time press, data, everything COVID related. So that really kind of waylaid that particular research. But the research works like this. We get people before they've tried MyVitalC, who have an Oura Ring, and in fact, we actually expanded it to even those who don't have an Oura Ring, and we have them collect survey data for 10 days. And I'll talk about that in a second. And I don't know if it makes sense to share my screen. I've got one graph here. Okay, so we might be able to figure out how to do that quickly and not disrupt the flow. But so basically for 10 days, they collect data. And the data they're collecting is, how would you rate your sleep? How easy was it to fall asleep? How restless were you while sleeping? And then the next morning, how would you rate your previous night's sleep, right? So like, how did you feel that next day? So they do 10 days and collect that survey data before they try our product, 10 days on the product, 10 days off the product, and then 10 days back on the product. And if I can figure out how to do this, I don't know if it's easy. Maybe not. I don't see any easy way. Oh, share screen. You do 2 monitors. Let's see if that works. Screen share. And we'll do that monitor. Nope, that monitor. All right. So can you see that?
No.
Oh, I think you need to add it into the show. It looks like it's there at the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. All right. So you can look at this data, and I know it might be small on some screens, but we're looking at is 4 sets of 4 columns. The blue column is the survey data, the average of the 10-day survey data before they started the product. The red is the average of the 10-day survey data when they first did 10 days on the product. Yellow off the product, green back on the product. And then each column set is rate your sleep, how easy was it to fall asleep, how restless were you, and how did you feel that next morning. And this is just one of the participants, Giselle. And so one of the things that you'll notice, and this is consistent, we've got about 5 people who I have these graphs for, and it's consistent where their baseline, right, which is the data that they got prior to taking our product, is lower than the green, which is the second time that they were 10 days on the product. It is interesting that the second time, so they go on the product for 10 days and then they go off the product, that number actually tends to be higher too, which is interesting. I don't know what that is. We need to dig into it. We actually have one participant is actually doing 20 days off, 20 days on, 20 days off, 20 days on, just to see what that looks like. But what you're seeing here is she's rating her average sleep a 2 before trying a product, and then a 3.25 after our product. She's rating how easy it was to go to sleep, say a 2, I'm guessing these numbers, spot checking, 2.4, and then 3.9, it looks like, after she's on our product for the second 10 days. Restlessness actually did go up, so that's an interesting thing. One of the things I know, I think Giselle was actually taking the product later in the day, and some of our customers have reported that if they take it too late in the day, it will keep them up. That's not true for me, and it sounds like you're taking it in the afternoon and it's not interrupting your sleep. So we're still kind of collecting data on that. We tend to recommend in the morning. And then how she felt, it looked like a 2.1 and then up to a 3.1. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing this consistently across those customers who are participating in this particular sleep study.
That's really interesting. I take mine at around noon because I'm recommending to my clients, definitely don't take it after 4 p.m. You know. And what I love about it is whether you're keto, intermittent fasting, or you're not, it's really not going to disrupt your insulin or your blood sugar. Well, Chris, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about longevity and why we're going to live till we're 200, right?
That sounds good.
We will take a short commercial break and be right back. Welcome back to Accelerated Health Radio and TV. I'm your host, Sara Banter, the owner of Accelerated Health Products. And today we have Chris Burrus talking about the benefits of ESS60, also known as MyVitalC. So Chris, really quickly, as I'm saying that, can you tell everybody the difference between just basic C60 and ESS60, because that is something that, a lot of people are going to go to Amazon and search C60, and they might not be getting what we're talking about.
Well, so first, I just like this conversation about Amazon and buying supplements on Amazon. I don't know about you, but do you have your products on Amazon or?
No, I did for a little bit, and it was a total disaster. And I felt like I was not giving my clients what they wanted and needed.
Yeah, so we have it just so it's available, really, right? Because some of our clients are like, oh, I'm Prime, so I could get it next day or 2 days or whatever. But it dawned on me the other day that what is a 5-star rating? And we talked about vitamin C earlier. So what does a 5-star rating about vitamin C actually mean? Right? Because people think it means, oh, it's really good vitamin C, ascorbic acid, right? That's what they think 5 stars next to vitamin C. But what we know about those 5 stars is that person didn't take that pill that's supposed to be, let's say, 1 gram and weigh it on a scientific scale. Like we know that didn't happen. So they don't even know that the pills are the right size. We also know that they didn't take it to an HPLC or some other scientific piece of equipment and even ascertain if it's ascorbic acid. Like all it means is it arrived and I take it every day. So a lot of people give a lot of credibility to the star rating on Amazon. And the reality is that rating doesn't mean anything, right? So you got to be very careful on Amazon. So if you're just hopping out onto Amazon. So this product, when it was originally, let's talk a little bit about the discovery. So in 1985, here in Houston at Rice University, 3 professors discovered the 3rd form of carbon, right? It's kind of commonly known as the buckyball, carbon-60. And those professors actually won the Nobel Prize. So discovered in 1985, they won the Nobel Prize in 1996. And then let's talk about why we're even talking on a supplement, why it's even a supplement. In 2012, they published the results of a toxicity study. Yes, they actually thought for various reasons that this molecule would be toxic. Instead of being toxic, so in that study, they gave rats water, rats olive oil, and rats olive oil with this ESS60 molecule. Instead of being toxic, those rats that were given the MyVitalC formula lived 90% longer than the control group and died without tumors. So those are 2 very amazing results. It's the single longest longevity result in mammals, peer-reviewed, published research ever. The next best way to live longer, and we've talked about intermittent fasting a little bit here. The next best researched way to live longer is full-on calorie restriction. If you reduce your calories by 30%, the data is pretty clear. You can extend your life by 30%. But no one is signing up for the starve yourself 1/3 to death diet. Maybe it's a marketing thing. I'm not sure. So those rats live 90% longer. So a typical Wistar rat lives 32 months and has a known amount of tumors. The longer the rat lives, the more tumor mass they have in their body. Even though the MyVitalC rats lived 90% longer, out to 62 months, none of them had any tumors. Now, this is a place where I usually have to stop people because cure for cancer. No, that's not what that study even suggests. Nothing close. There's a huge difference between addressing a cancer that has metastasized and actually being a cancer preventative, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a good indicator that it has cancer preventative properties. We also know that a good diet, good supplementation, good sleep, good exercise are great cancer preventative. So there's lots of things that this lumps into, that result lumps this product into. Right. So that's really the reason we're talking about this particular molecule. And in fact, from a kind of company perspective, that result was released in 2012 and 2000. I've just been manufacturing. This is weird. I'm not really a supplement guy. I'm a carbon nanomaterial scientist. I make this soccer ball shaped molecule. I've been making it since 1991. I sell it to research institutions around the world. And then in 2012, they published the study about this molecule that I make. And it actually extended the lives of those rats by 90%. If we extend the average human life by 90%, the average human will live to 152. Remember, that's the average, not the oldest, or like that's the average. And that's a pretty phenomenal result. So we started getting lots of calls about, should you put it in your body? The research is very clear. Carbon 60 is for industrial purposes. And there is peer-reviewed, published research that proves when you improperly process carbon 60, it is harmful. ESS60 is C60 that's been processed for safer human consumption.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, I can't believe we're coming on time. Not quite yet, but I want to make sure we talk about the antiviral properties, as this is something that is obviously everybody is thinking about, talking about, fearing, and looking for natural or unnatural preventative medicine. So can we talk about the antiviral properties of MyVitalC?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, our base oil is olive oil, a known antiviral, right? So that is, that's good, and it's good for you. Actually, there's a very famous author and podcaster, Dr. Gundry, who I love his phrase. He says, the purpose of food is to get more olive oil into your mouth. Like that's just a great kind of premise. So the olive oil in itself is great. Now you look at the ESS60 molecule. So back when it was discovered, again, discovered in 85, Nobel Prize by 96, around 1991 or so, really the AIDS epidemic was coming to the forefront. And there is actually a patent related to the ESS60 molecule inhibiting the reproduction of the AIDS virus. So we do know that it is absolutely an antiviral in that context, right? So that is something, you know, when you look about what do we want to support in our immune system? We want an antioxidant. We really want an anti-inflammatory, and you have to be really careful with the FDA when you're talking about anti-inflammatories. So we can say that it helps in the inflammation associated with exercise, but for whatever reason, according to the FDA, we can't say it helps with anything else. We can say that it's actually really fits in naturally with an anti-inflammatory diet. So, you know, you can read between the lines. We're just, you know, walking that thin line. It's antibacterial. Again, when you look at the olive oil, it's antibacterial, antiviral because of the ESS60 molecule and its viral capabilities, and then the olive oil in general.
So this is bringing up a topic because I've got 3 teenagers who suffer from acne, teenage acne, like the typical child. Have you seen, I know you mentioned a skincare that you're working on. Tell us about that. And also, can you just put the regular MyVitalC on your skin for acne or bacterial infections, or just getting rid of the wrinkles?
Wow. So that's a lot. So yes, we're working on a skincare product, and I'll talk to you a little bit off the air about some of the results that we've got, because we've got actually a kit that will be coming out in the next month or two. People who are just consuming this internally, by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit about testimonials, and it's important to say the FDA has not evaluated the product. It's not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. And anything that I might share, you might have different experiences with. So people who were consuming the product, yeah, typical testimonial, mental focus, energy, better sleep. We're also giving us feedback about improvements in hair, color, and regrowth, improvements in skin. And so other customers, like anytime you're taking an oil, like if you've ever cooked with olive oil, there's kind of a drop lying around. So our customers would just take that, rub it on their skin, rub it on their face. And we started getting amazing reports. So we're like, okay, well, we need to make a skincare product. We have actually 2 that will be coming out pretty soon. And we're getting good results. So my daughter's young, she's 10 and a half, but getting a little bit of acne, and it's helping with her acne. And they had some, I forget exactly what it was, but there were some bumps that she had, and I've been putting our product on it, and those bumps have gone away. So there is some good indications that it's going to be a great a great product. One of our kits is actually going to be associated with another molecule that has a lot of good research behind it as a skincare and hair growth supporting molecule.
Well, I can just tell you, and I'm putting myself out there in a vulnerable spot by telling you this. I'm 45 years old. Last time we talked, I talked about the fact that I have 2 gray hairs. I actually need to get my highlights done soon, but I don't have any more than those 2 gray hairs still. And it's been a year since we've talked, or, so nothing's changed. And this is the age where everyone in my family says, oh, just wait. It's going to you see 2 hairs and then it's like your whole head really quick.
Yeah.
And I haven't. And my eyesight's good. I have no joint pain. And I know there's a lot of factors that go into this, diet and inflammation and MyVitalC and all of these other things. But this is a key part of my health, and I don't miss a day. And when I do, like you said, I feel it. I really do. Let's talk about, because of the inflammatory or anti-inflammatory properties and the anti-aging, that goes beyond just living to 152. We want the quality of life. So arthritic pain, eyesight, nerve damage, all of these things. Can we talk about those things that you're seeing?
Well, yeah, and I think it's an interesting topic because I share that research, right? These rats live 90% longer, and I share it with a lot of people, and a lot of people actually say, well, why would you want to live longer? And that kind of always surprised. In the beginning, it surprised me because for whatever reason in my head, I just want to live to 125, even before even before that 2012 study came out. So I didn't know how it was going to happen, but that was just my goal, 125. But then those people would say, why would you want to live longer? I asked the question, so if you have the same mental capacity that you have today, and you have the same physical capacity that you have today, would you then be interested in living longer? And most, not all, but most will kind of flip their story and say, okay, well, that sounds interesting because as a society or as humans even, we just associate old age with infirmment, right? And if you rephrase the question, how long would you like to live infirmed? That's really kind of what you're asking if you would like to, if you ask people, do they want to live longer? So there's going to be this mind shift. And I do believe that Dr. David Sinclair is one of the key scientists involved in this mind shift of we can actually delay the aging process and everything that the aging process means, right? So arthritis, poor eyesight, muscle decay, all of these things can be pushed off. And eventually, I believe that it'll be pushed off indefinitely, right? Mm-hmm. And so yeah, you've got this MyVitalC where these rats live 90% longer. And one of the things that I kind of joke and say, those rats that lived out to 62 months, there were no notes in the literature that those rats were, walking around with little walkers and little oxygen tanks, right? They lived healthy rat lives until they passed. And so, yeah, I think what's the point of living longer if you're going to be infirmed? This is all about what do we need to do today to start preparing so that we live a healthful, youthful life. I love what Dr. Gundry says. He says, I want you to die young at a very old age.
Right. Well, I have to say, when I added MyVitalC to my regimen, I hadn't changed anything different. And within 3 months, my chronological age obviously continued, but my biological age went backwards. I believe it was 3 years just within 3 months. And that was with my telomere growth that was reported on a scan. So I haven't done it lately. I will do it because I'm really curious where it is now. And Chris, I can't believe it. We're already out of time. So you know what? We're going to have to come back on when you have the skincare, and you can bet that I will be carrying the skincare products when they're available. So thanks for coming on, and everyone can find MyVitalC at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. It is on sale. So, and if you have any questions about it, you can reach me, or if you want to get a hold of Chris, we can put you in contact as well.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us today, everybody. And if I can help you with your health issues, contact me directly through the website, and I'm happy to put together a protocol for you. I know sometimes it's hard to know where to start. I'm also now doing group health coaching with our most comprehensive bundle called the Ascent Bundle. So if you are interested, you can also email me and say, I'm in. I don't know how to start, but I'm in. You can find this episode and all of my episodes on my YouTube channel, Accelerated Health Radio. And you can find it on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Pandora, or whatever podcast platform you subscribe to. I also do Accelerated Health Bites, where I do short informational videos about health topics and solutions that you ask me about. If you like what you heard today, please hit the subscribe button and share with a few friends who may need my help. And if you could also take a moment and leave a review on iTunes, it would really help my channel get out there to more people so they can improve their health as well. As you share my channel, helps me help more people like you and bring more cutting edge guests to my show. Join us next week, and you can also use coupon W4HC20 for 20% off site-wide at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. Thanks again for joining us here on Accelerated Health Radio. Have a great week. Thanks, Chris.
Bye. Thank you, Sarah.